Do you remember the last time you heard the word creed? You were probably standing next to some old guy in the military. That's because a creed isn't just a religious declaration of faith. It's also the rallying cry of men who fight for something larger than themselves, such as soldiers, secret agents, or the crew of a starship. In today's episode, we're going to take a look at one of the most unique groups of Christians who claim to be the true believers of Jesus Christ and wage war against Satan himself. This is the Warrior's Creed, Part 4, the Michaelites. There once was a great vision given to the prophet Daniel, which foretold of a future battle between the forces of God and the forces of the Prince of Persia. And the book of Revelations tells us that Michael and his angels waged war with the dragon, Satan, and his demons. The Michaelites are the modern incarnation of these ancient protectors of humanity who serve as the spiritual generals of God in his absence. They consider themselves to be the true warriors of Christ and claim that other Christians are too afraid to live out their faith and therefore do not deserve the title. They believe that Satan has great power over the church and that it is dying across the world. Most shockingly of all, they believe that the Antichrist has already taken the throne of the papacy. Because of this, the Michaelites do not recognize any modern popes as legitimate. They do, however, recognize the importance of tradition and have based their religion on the Catholic traditions of the early church. The main reason the Michaelites exist at all is because of the perception that Christianity is no longer being practiced as it was intended. When the Roman Empire split up after the fall of the western half, the Nicene Creed was created as the statement of faith for the Roman Church, excluding certain beliefs held by the Eastern churches. The Michaelites are considered to be the counter-creed to the Nicene Creed. They rejected the authority of the Pope and the Council of Nicaea, believing that the Nicene Creed was corrupted by pagan influences. They trace their origins back to the original teachings of Jesus, but contend that the Church has strayed so far from those teachings that many of them can no longer call themselves Christian. They believe that the only way to rectify this is for Christians to go back to what they believe is the original form of worship. They call this form of worship the Catholic apostolic tradition of the undivided Church. The Michaelites are often described as fundamentalist Catholics who rejected papal authority and reject what they see as heresy and corruption in the Roman Catholic Church. But to label them as simply a sect of Catholicism wouldn't be entirely accurate. Although they share much of the Catholic doctrine, they reject the authority of the Pope and the bishops. Instead, they choose their leaders based on merit and personal qualities rather than lineage or rank. In addition to their rejection of the Nicene Creed, they also practice millennialism, meaning that they believe the second coming of Christ is imminent. Because they believe the end times are upon them, they believe it is their duty to spread the word of God and convert as many people as possible before it's too late. A lot of their practices and traditions are drawn directly from the book of Revelations. One of their most important figures is Pope Gregory the Stylite, who they consider to be the last pope who truly represented the Catholic Church. They believe that he alone saw the truth about Satan's infiltration of the Church, which ultimately led to him being deposed. As a result, they consider him to be a martyr for the true faith. Before he became pope, Gregory was born a slave in Syria and eventually found employment as a mercenary in the pay of the Roman Empire. However, while fighting for Rome, he began to suffer from mysterious illnesses and ailments, which caused him to retire from his position as a soldier. After his retirement, he experienced visions of hell and the devil, which convinced him that Christianity was in grave danger. After reporting these visions to the church, he was selected as the new pope. He spent his papacy warning Christians about the dangers of sin and persecution. However, his warnings went unheeded, and he died believing the church was doomed. Despite this, the followers of the Michaelites believe that he was a great prophet and martyr who tried to save the church from itself. To this day, the followers of the Michaelites continue to grow in numbers, but it is difficult to estimate how large the group actually is. Due to their refusal to accept mainstream Christianity, They keep a low profile to avoid unwanted attention from authorities and media alike. What we do know is that the majority of their following is located in the United States and Europe. The Michaelites are considered to be a secretive organization because members do not reveal their identities publicly. They fear that revealing their identities could lead to persecution from both religious and political authorities. For this reason, they maintain a low profile and avoid drawing attention to themselves. Perhaps the most recognizable aspect of the Michaelites is their unwavering commitment to their beliefs. Members are expected to live according to the teachings of Christ and to resist temptation in all its forms. They believe that Satan tempts humans throughout their lives, and it is up to each individual to resist those temptations. To help them on this journey, they have a list of convictions and sins that they must abide by. By following these rules, they believe they can resist the temptations of Satan and live a pure life free from sin. These convictions and sins are: thou shalt not kill, honoring life in all its forms and protecting the weak. Thou shalt protect the weak. Thou shalt not show mercy to heathens. Heathenry is a non-Christian religion, and showing mercy to those who do not believe in their way is seen as a waste of time. Thou shalt never aid injustice when it appears in the world. Thou shalt not flee. Showing cowardice in the face of danger is seen as a sin. Thou shalt honor their ancestors. Thou shalt honor their word. Their word is their bond, and breaking it is seen as a grave sin. Thou shalt not expose violence to the innocent. If a child witnesses violence, it can traumatize them for life. Therefore, they believe it is wrong to expose children to unnecessary violence. Thou shalt sacrifice for the Lord. Selfishness is seen as a sin, and they believe that one must be willing to sacrifice for others. Thou shalt follow the laws of the land. Obeying the law is seen as a virtue, and breaking the law is seen as a sin. Lord forgiveth, I am a killer. I am a killer. I have taken a life. Lord forgiveth, I put aside my honor. I have been tempted by Satan to abandon my honor. Lord forgiveth. My rage overtakes me. I have allowed my rage to control me. Lord forgiveth. I lust for the thrill of battle. I have allowed my lust for battle to overpower me. Lord forgiveth. I question your will. I have doubted your will. Lord forgiveth. I look down on the poor. I have looked down on the poor. Lord forgiveth. I serve only myself. I have served only myself. Lord forgiveth. I succumb to greed. I have succumbed to greed. Lord forgiven. I let arrogance guide my actions. I have allowed arrogance to guide my actions. Lord forgiven. I betray the innocent. I have betrayed the innocent. Because of their convictions, members of the Michaelites are expected to live pure lives free from sin. They believe that it is through living according to these convictions that they can resist the temptations of Satan and live a life of purity. The Michaelites are a fascinating group of people whose beliefs and convictions set them apart from other Christians. Their dedication to living a pure life free from sin and their commitment to spreading the Word of God make them a unique and intriguing part of the Christian world. Thank you so much for watching. Now we want to hear from you. What did you think of this episode? What surprised you about the Michaelites? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future episodes.